So now I'm going to talk about how you should introduce yourself, all right? So let's start. You should start with a greeting. So whenever you meet someone for the first time, what do? You introduce yourself, isn't it? So how are you supposed to do that? You start with a greeting, isn't it? You should start with a greeting. So you can start with a good morning, with a good afternoon, with a good evening, with a hello, with a hey, with a hi. So in case of casual purpose, in whenever you're meeting someone, whenever you're meeting someone for the first time, you start with your name, isn't it? You tell your name and that's how you introduce yourself. But don't forget to greet the other person. You need to greet the other person. You can even shake hands. You can offer a shake, you can offer a handshake, but it's not safe now, I know, but hopefully the situation will be under control and hopefully we can start again with handshakes. But otherwise, handshakes are something that you can offer when you meet someone, whenever you meet someone for the first time, or whenever you meet anyone. Even if you know the person, you can offer a handshake, all right? And the other thing you can say is good morning, good afternoon, good evening, in case you are in your office, you're meeting someone for a professional purpose, but if it is related to your personal life, then you can start with a hello, hey, hi. If you're meeting someone who is younger to you or who is of your age, then you can definitely start with a hello, hi, hey, okay. And in case of official introduction, that is professional introductions, uh, start with good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon the time, all right? And there are other ways of greetings as well, like how are you, it has been a long time. So you can also use these phrases, but depending upon the situations, all right? For personal meetings, then definitely you can use uh, however you feel like, however you want to. But for professional ones, you have to take care of the designation, you have to take care of the position. So that is why the safe words that you can use to greet anybody is good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Now you might be, if you're wondering that, if it's 8 uh, what are you supposed to, if it's 8 p.m., what are you supposed to say? You cannot say good night, you cannot start your conversation with a good night, isn't it? So how are you supposed to greet? What are you supposed to say? You are supposed to say good evening. Even at 9, you are supposed to say good evening, all right? So good evening is something that can be used after 4 p.m. So you can start your conversation with a good evening, okay? And good night is used as a mm, like it is used to say bye. So whenever you want to say a bye, you want to end the conversation, so then you say good night. So you do not start a conversation with good night. You are either going to use good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. All right. So this is how you need to greet the person. You need to greet whenever you are meeting someone. Okay. It might be for the first time, or it can be you can also greet people, and even if you know the other person since a long time, you can greet people. But because I am talking about introduction, how to introduce yourself, so when are you going to introduce yourself? When you are meeting someone for the first time, so you need to greet the person at first, all right? Then start with your name, all right? You can start with your name. So you can start with my name is, or I am. Okay, you can just start with your name. Do not use myself, because myself is incorrect, all right? Myself is totally incorrect, and it is grammatically incorrect. Myself is a word that cannot be used in the beginning of the sentence. So it can only be used towards the end. It cannot be used in the beginning of the sentence. So it is incorrect. So that is why you're not supposed to use myself whenever you are introducing yourself. You might have heard a lot of people using this term myself when they introduce themselves, but that is incorrect, grammatically incorrect. A lot of experienced people, a lot of people use this term myself, and I think you have seen a lot of people, heard a lot of people using the term myself, but this is incorrect. All right, so now you know that you're not supposed to use myself, it is incorrect. So even if you are even if you have been using this term myself to tell your name, to introduce yourself, do not use it now, because you know that it is incorrect. Okay, so you can start with my name is or I am. In case of formal introductions, in case of interview, you can basically start with my name is, because it's a formal way. And in case of casual introductions, or when you're not sitting in an interview, then you can also use I am. All right, both are correct. So whenever you are introducing yourself, you need to say your full name. Okay, you need to add your full name. So I have also come across a lot of assignments where the assignments that you had submitted me earlier, I had come across a lot of assignments, and most some of the students, they have just written their first name. You are supposed to write down your full name, that is your first name and your last name, and if you have any middle name, your official name. All right, according to the certificate, do not use different names. Other person will be confused. Suppose you are going for an interview, you have written something on your resume and you're telling something else when you're giving your introduction in the interview, then the other person will be confused regarding your name. What is your correct name? So you should tell your name according to your certificates. All right, do not forget that you are supposed to tell your name according to your certificate. Do not change it. It's okay if you have written something on your social media handles, it's fine. But whenever you're introducing yourself, especially in case of official introductions, you're supposed to say your name that is there on your certificates, according to your certificates. All right, and you're not supposed to use any title such as Mr. or Miss. Why? Because the other person can see you, the other person can hear you, and the other person can definitely understand that you are a Mr. or a Miss. So you're just supposed to say your name, your full name, your first and your last name. All right, and if you need to also include if you have any middle name. Okay, so whenever you say your name, make sure that the other person understands this is your first name and this is your last name. Make sure that the other person understands the difference between your first name and your last name. So we have a lot of surnames, isn't it? We have a lot of surnames in our country. So you might not understand that this particular name is a surname or it's just a first name of the person. So that is why there must be a gap in between. Whenever you say your first and your last name, there has to be a gap, there has to be a stop in between. That means you need to wait for a second after you tell your first name and then tell your last name. So here I have just given an example, Priya Singh. So my name is Priya Singh. So it becomes easier for the other person to understand that yes, Priya is your name and Singh is your surname. So Singh is a common surname, and we are quite aware of this surname. So we know that yes, this is a surname. But there are a lot of surnames in our country which we are not aware of, which we don't know. We cannot understand that yeah, it's a name or it's a surname. So for uh, for a clear picture, you need to stop after you tell your first name. Now, the stop shouldn't be too longer. It should be just for a second. All right. So it shouldn't be too longer. You just need to stop for a second and then tell your last name. All right. So that's how you need to say your name. Do not use myself. Use my name is or I am. Do not use Mr. Miss. Tell your full name, your first, middle name, if any, and your last name. And there, and you should stop after you say your first name, you should stop for a second and then tell your last name. All right. So this is how you need to say your name. Then the next thing you need to say is where are you from? The name of your hometown. So hometown. All right. So you don't have to give your postal address because the other person is not going to visit you. So that is why you are only supposed to tell the name of your city, the town, or the village, or at max district. All right. And if you are, suppose currently you are in Delhi and you're introducing yourself in Delhi and you're from Assam. So then you can say, I am from Guwahati, Assam. All right. So you can add the name of the state. If you are in another state, then you can add the name of your state. So if you are from Jorhat and if you are in Guwahati, so it's not necessary to say I'm from Jorhat, Assam, because I know that Jorhat is in Assam, isn't it? But a person who is from Delhi, who stays in Delhi, might not know that Jorhat is in Assam. So you need to tell the name of the state as well. Otherwise, if you are in your state, then just you can just exclude it. All right. Then, regarding your qualifications, so whenever you are giving a formal introduction, so especially in case of interviews, especially in case of interviews, and whenever you are giving your introduction for the first time in your college or in your office, so you need to add your qualification as well, especially in case of mind it, especially in case of interviews. All right, so you have to tell about your qualification. So the last passed exam, okay, the last exam that you have passed, that is your qualification. If you're currently pursuing a course, that is not your qualification. Once you complete the course and you get the certificate, you pass and you get the certificate, that is your qualification. All right. So do not say that my qualification is BBA because you're only in the third semester. Only the fifth or the sixth semester, the sixth semester students also cannot say that my qualification is BBA because they have not yet passed. After you pass the exam, you can say that your qualification is BBA or whatever course it is. All right. Until and unless you don't pass, now you all are. What is your qualification? Your qualification is HS, higher secondary. You can also mention. So you can also mention the course that you are pursuing currently. So I am pursuing BBA in Assam Downtown University, or I am a student. I am a third semester student, a BBA student in Assam Downtown University. All right. And if you have completed the course, then you need to mention that I have completed BBA in whatever the year is in suppose 2019 from Assam Downtown University. Okay, so in this way you need to say about your qualification. Then if you have any other qualification, especially in case of interview, you don't have to whenever you are introducing yourself uh, in a party, you don't have to tell about your qualification. So it depends upon where you are introducing yourself. Okay, in case of any occasion where you are introducing yourself when you're meeting someone for the first time, you have to introduce yourself, isn't it? So you can just include your name, your hometown, then you can also add where are you currently what are you currently studying. You can add that, and if you're currently working somewhere, you can add that. Okay, if it's an official party, then you can say regarding your designation, regarding your position, and regarding interview. And in an interview, you have to add your qualification, your other qualification, if any. Now, other qualification, what is other qualification? If you have done any other certificate courses. Okay, qualification is related to your academics, and if you have done any other courses, short-term courses, that is regarded as other qualification. So suppose if you have done a computer course, then that will be regarded as a other qualification. How are you supposed to say it? My other qualification is, no, you're not supposed to use other qualifications. So you can say it in this, you need to say it in this manner that I have completed. Okay, similarly, I have already taught you this. So I have completed a diploma in computer applications from this. So you can just say it in this way. Today I have already explained you regarding this how you're supposed to introduce yourself in case of an interview. But whenever you are introducing yourself to in a party or in any other occasion, in a official event or in in a wedding function, so whenever you're meeting someone for the first time, what are you supposed to use? You're supposed to use your name. You're supposed to tell your name, and then you can also say where are you from in case of official parties. Then you can include your designation. All right, instead of your qualification you can include your designation, and then you can tell about your any likes or dislikes. All right, so this is how you need to give your introduction. So I think you have this. I think I had already shared this with you all, this ppt with you all earlier. Just let me know whether I have shared this earlier
Yes,
or
ma'am.
not. Yeah, I have
Yes,
already
ma'am. You.
shared this, so I just wanted to show. I have just showed you again, just to let you know that how are you supposed to introduce yourself when you meet someone for the first time. You need to exclude certain things and you need to include some of the things, as I had said, like your name, your hometown, and if it is an official party, then definitely you are supposed to say regarding your designation. You need to tell about your designation. And if you're introducing yourself to someone in a personal party, in a personal event, then you can tell about your office as well, that I am currently working. Suppose I am currently working as a trainer in Assam Downtown University. Okay, so that's how you can give your own introduction. Uh, in case of interview, you're supposed to use all the points that I had already shared with you, and today also I had given you, I had explained you a little regarding the interview. So in case of an interview, you're supposed to include all these points. All right, but whenever you are introducing yourself in a party, in any other occasion apart from an interview, then you need to include your name, hometown, your designation. Then you can also share what you like to do, what are your likes and dislikes. All right, so that's how you give your introduction. Okay, but do not forget to start with a greeting. Okay, so that's how you should give your introduction. I had already discussed about this earlier as well, so I am sure you don't have any doubts regarding this. Now, I am going to discuss regarding the topic how you should introduce others. All right, so there's a topic how you should introduce others. So I am going to tell you how you're supposed to introduce others. So sometimes you have to introduce others when you are the common person, when you are the common person and you know both the person. So you introduce both the persons to each other, isn't it? So how are you supposed to do that? So there's a it's basically an art of introducing people to each other. So in case of official settings, you definitely have to maintain certain rules and regulations, whereas the in case of mm, personal events, then you can skip few things. It's totally dependent upon you, but this is the basic protocol of how you are supposed to introduce others. All right. So basically, what is the purpose of introduction? What is the purpose of introducing people? So uh, when you want to give the people an opportunity to know each other, so then what do? You introduce them with each other, isn't it? If you feel like that no, they shouldn't know about each other, then you will not introduce them to each other. And when you feel the necessity that they should get this opportunity to know each other, then what do? You introduce them to each other. So it's basically it starts with the names, and then you can also include certain other information. So how are you supposed to introduce others? So I have mentioned four steps, and these are the four steps that you should take care of when, especially in case of official introduction, professional ones, whenever you're introducing someone to the other. All right. So the first thing that you need to take care of is first state the name of the person being introduced to. This is the higher ranking person. If you are introducing someone who is your senior, then you are supposed to first of all state the name of that person. Suppose Ravi is your senior. All right, Ravi is your boss, and you're introducing Ravi to a junior, all right, to a junior whose name is Ram. All right, now how are you supposed to start? You're supposed to first of all you're supposed to state the name of the boss. You're supposed to state the name of your senior. So, sir or Mr. Ravi, you need to start like this. The second thing that you're supposed to say it, I would like to introduce, or please meet, or this is, you can also use this is, but it's basically if you use I would like to introduce is the best way of introducing people to one another. And you can also use please meet, all right. So Mr. Ravi, I would like to introduce you to the third point that you need to take care of is state the name of the person being introduced. This is the lower ranking person. That means this is a junior. Okay. So Mr. Ravi, I would like to introduce you to Mr. Ram. So Ram is your junior and Ravi is your senior. You need to first take the name of the senior, then use the phrase please meet or I would like to introduce you to, and then you need to state the name of the junior. You need to state the name of the junior. Mr. Ravi, please meet or I would like to introduce you to Mr. Ram. And then offer some details about each other. Okay, do not elaborate it. You are not supposed to deliver a speech regarding that, but you are supposed to give a few details in brief, and that will definitely help them to connect with one another, and that will definitely help them to start a conversation. All right, so in case of official meetings, in case of official environment, formal environment, where you are introducing a senior to a junior, you are supposed to take the name depending upon the designation of the person. All right, so this is the basic way of introducing people to one another. All right, again I'm repeating, you're supposed to tell the name, you're supposed to state the name of the higher ranking person at first, and then use the phrase please meet or I would like to introduce you to, and then take the name of the junior, and then offer some details about each other. That means you can uh, tell them regarding the designation, mm, regarding uh, any kind of other information such as education, career. If you're introducing a fresher, if you're introducing an employee who had joined your organization recently to your senior, then you can offer details such as you can offer details related to his experience, to his previous company, to his previous job. And then you can tell about the scene, and you can tell the junior, you can offer information to the junior regarding the designation of the senior personnel. So in this way you need to offer a certain detail about each other. And in case of personal introduction, you can if she's your friend, if she's your relative, then you need to definitely say that she's my sister, he's my brother, she's my friend, he's my friend, she's my auntie, he's my uncle. So in this way you need to offer certain details about one another, so that they have a little idea who that person is, and why are you introducing him or her. So that is why you need to offer some kind of details. All right. Then here are a few examples of how to make introduction. So this is something that you are going to understand when you read it. So it's a simple way of making introductions. Few examples are given. So I would just like to read a few. Introduce a younger person to an older person. Grandma, please meet Alicia and Carlos, my neighbors. So as I had said that you have to first of all take the name of the senior person, irrespective of the senior person related to, and the seniority will be based on the designation if it is official, and the seniority will be based on age if it is personal. All right, so remember that thing, we need to take the name of the senior person at first. So in case of official introductions, the seniority will be basically based on the designation, and in case of personal, the seniority will be based on the age or relation. All right. So grandma, please meet Alicia and Carlos, my neighbors. Now you're introducing your grandma to Alicia and Carlos, and who are they? They are your neighbors. So that's how you can introduce younger person to an older person. Introduce a relatively junior professional to a senior professional. Miss Director, so you can say sir, madam. Okay, you can also you can say sir, ma'am. You can also say you can say the designation of the person. I would like to introduce Mr. Nakamura, the chief product architect. So you're supposed to also, as I had said, that you need to provide a certain details. So you need to, in case of official introductions, definitely for the first time when you're introducing someone in your office, you have to tell the designation of that person. So the chief product architect of our software division. All right. So in this way, you can introduce a junior professional to a senior professional. And whenever you are introducing someone to your seniors, do not forget to use sir, ma'am. All right. Make sure that you use the term sir and ma'am, because in India, basically, we use this term sir and ma'am. In foreign countries, it depends upon the organization and it depends upon their culture. And in most of the countries, they do not use sir and ma'am. Rather, they would be using they rather they would be using they would just tell their names, they would just tell their names. So but in India, it's quite common, when we use it, it's quite common. And sir and ma'am is these words are quite common, and definitely you need to use these words if you are introducing a senior. So uh, suppose, tell me any name. Sheila Sharma. Meet Sheila Sharma, the director. Meet Sheila Sharma, ma'am, the director of the company. She is Sheila Sharma, ma'am, the director of the company. And I would like to introduce you to Mr. XYZ, the manager of our company. All right. So this is how you can introduce a junior professional to a senior professional. Then how are you supposed to introduce an employee? This is another important thing. Okay, how are you supposed to introduce an employee to a customer? All right, how are you supposed to introduce an employee to a customer? Mr. Sang, I would like to introduce our plastic I would like to introduce you to our plastics engineering team. Okay. Now, when it is a customer, you're supposed to take the name of the customer, because in any business, customer is the god, isn't it? So that is why you're supposed to take the name of the customer. If you are introducing your customer to any of your colleagues or anyone in the organization, to any employee, then first of all, you're supposed to take the name of the customer. All right. And you need to also describe and you need to also describe uh, the uh, name, the designation of the other person with whom you are uh, introducing. All right. So that is why you are supposed to mention the a little detail about the person, about the employee, to the customer, so that the customer has certain idea regarding the employee, regarding the work profile of the employee. Then, how are you supposed to introduce a host to a guest? So, who is the host? If I invite you for dinner at my home, then I am the host, isn't it? The one who invites you is the host. So, if I say that I am the host, that means I am the one who has invited you. So, how you're supposed to introduce a host to a guest? All right. Uh, So you need to take the name of the host, of course, and then you need to tell the name of the other person. Suppose you are taking your friend to your relative's place. So how are you going to introduce your friend to your auntie? That auntie, meet my friend Sita. Auntie, meet my friend Sita, and then provide certain information that we are studying in the same school, or we are studying in the same university or college. So that's how you can introduce a host to a guest. All right. And then here are a few other examples, so you can go through it. It's very easy. If you do not understand, then you can get back to me. All right. So this is how you need to introduce yourself, basically senior to junior. All right. First of all, you need to take the name of the senior. In case of office, the designation matters. In case of personal introduction, in case of any personal event, what you have to do is you have to introduce the senior person. That means the seniority will be based on the relation you share with the person or the age of the person. All right. So you need to take the name of that person at first, and then I would like to introduce you to me. Please meet. So you can use these phrases to introduce the other person, and then later on provide a little details about the others. In case of official introductions, you can tell regarding the designation or the work profile of the person. And in case of person introduction, you can just say that how do you know this person. So in that way you can introduce people with you can introduce others. You can introduce two different people, and that's how they will be able to communicate with one another. So that's all. Do you have any doubts? Is there any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I assume that all of you have understood. If there is if you have any kind of doubt, then you can ask me, especially regarding this part, how you're supposed to introduce others. Self introduction is something that I think you will be able to give your introduction, because I had already you know explained you how to introduce yourself earlier as well, so it's quite easy. But just remember that whenever you are, apart from interview, whenever you're introducing yourself, you're not supposed to include all the details. Start with your name. So the name is the same thing. You need to tell your full name and the official name, of course. Then your hometown. Then you can add regarding, you can add information regarding your work and also regarding your whatever you are studying. If you're currently pursuing a course and if you're currently doing a job, you can include certain information regarding that. Where are you working? What is your designation? What is the course that you're pursuing? From which university or college you're pursuing? In which university or college you are studying? So you can add these details whenever you're introducing yourself, apart from an interview. But in an interview, you're supposed to add all the details, all right? And you're supposed to start with a greeting. Do not forget to start with a greeting. Whenever you're introducing yourself for the first time, start with a greeting. Hi, hello, how, hi, hello, then good morning. So you can start with this. In personal cases, hi, hello is fine. In official, in professional, for professional purpose, good evening, good afternoon, good morning is something that is preferred. All right. Is there any doubt? Do you have any doubt?
No, ma'am.